Hello everyone and welcome. Today you find me at Toyota Lebanon taking a look at the 2022 Toyota Land Cruiser, which has recently arrived to the country. We have another one over there. Both are GXR trim levels, so let's see what they're all about.
Toyota's flagship off-road SUV has finally got its long-awaited makeover after its predecessor going on for sale for over 13 years. This Land Cruiser isn't available in Europe and USA, but it's expected to sell like hotcakes over here in the Middle East, as they've proven to be very popular. Gone is the big V8 and split tailgate sadly, but the Land Cruiser has still got impressive tech for it to remain one of the best off-roaders on sale right now. Toyota offers two petrol versions, a naturally aspirated or twin-turbo V6, each split into 3 trim levels. You can get your hands on a brand new Land Cruiser for just $63,000. In Lebanon, there are 3 options to choose from at a starting price of under $88,000 based on the current payment method. Alright then, so sitting in the brand new Toyota Land Cruiser, you can see we get a completely redesigned interior for 2022. We have a new steering wheel, new center dashboard, new arrangement for the center console, which I'm a big fan of. I really like the whole redesign. Now this is particularly exciting because we don't get the Land Cruiser every other day. This generation is known by the 300 series, which replaces the old 200 series. The V8 is dead on the Land Cruiser. They've replaced it with a twin-turbocharged V6 petrol engine, and then some markets get the 4-liter naturally aspirated V6. We're going to be discussing the powertrain of the Land Cruiser later on in the video. Let me switch to point of view style to show you what the interior is all about. Starting off with the wheel, you can see the new design that you get with the square-shaped center portion. On the left, you have your multimedia controls, phone, volume, and all of that to control the screen in the center. And then on the right, you have a cruise control stuff. Now, the placement is actually weird. I'm usually used to multimedia being on the right and then cruise control stuff on the left. And then coming on to the instrument cluster, you can see we don't get a digital display, unfortunately. We have a small 4.7-inch screen in the center, which can be upgraded to a 7-inch on the higher trim levels. We have analog dials on the right and the left, but I would have expected at least a digital display in 2022 on this luxury SUV. On the left, you have the controls for the windows, and I like the placement that you get, almost vertical. You have nice door handle, aluminum door handle, and so nicely leather wrapped. It's not actual leather, but I mean, it's nice material that you have. This is leather over here on the door, and it's nicely padded actually, surprisingly. Now coming on to the center of the dashboard, you have the standard 9-inch digital display, which can be upgraded to a 12.3-inch. Now honestly, I'm not a big fan of the screen. It feels outdated. I mean, for 2022, you'd expect much more of better quality. It's not configured in Arabic over here in Lebanon, but I mean, it's fast, don't get me wrong. It's also touch sensitive. I mean, if you want to do that whenever, but it's not the quality I would have expected in the new Land Cruiser. And then the bottom portion is what I'm satisfied with. You have high quality controls everywhere, and it's good that they've kept the climate control stuff over here down below and not on the screen. I mean, imagine this climate control stuff and this not so very high quality screen. And so down below you have the controls for your different driving modes. If I rotate this knob over here, it's going to change in the instrument cluster, in the small screen that you get in the center gauges. We have this button for the launching and the second gear, and then you can see we have storage space and then a USB port and a USB-C port over there. I really like the design of the gear shifter that you get, which is leather wrapped. It's of very high quality. You have wireless phone charging over here, which you can turn on and off from this button. I like that it gives you the option of turning it off. You have a locking center differential button over here, and then this is the control to switch between your different 4-wheel drive controls. And then you have a parking brake over here with the auto hold, and then you can see the beautiful wood trim that you get with 2 cup holders. Now, as for practicality goes in the new Land Cruiser, it's obviously the way you expect it. We open up the glove box over here, and you can see that it's 2 stages, one on the top and one at the bottom, and it's also nicely leather wrapped, as you can see. Now, one quirky little feature, if you just press this button, it's going to open up the hole. It's not like 2-part, which honestly I don't know how I feel about it, but I mean, it's okay. We have a cool box which you turn on over here, and you can hear the fan going, and it's actually pretty deep. Okay, this is very impressive. Switching over to the mechanical stuff, the new Land Cruiser is offered with 2 petrol and 1 diesel engine, with a twin-turbo V6 likely to be the most popular. It is mated to a 10-speed auto, sending 415 PS and 650 Nm of torque to all 4 wheels. The fuel tank is 110 liters, and fuel efficiency is around 22 miles per gallon. Since this is a proper off-roader, the base model gets center and rear locking diffs, while the top-of-the-line twin-turbo VXR gets a limited slip differential for center and rear. The atmospheric V6 in the VXR trim gets a locking front diff as well. In terms of off-road tech, not much has changed with carryover features from 2016, such as the improved multi-terrain monitor, which offers a clear view of the road ahead, something we're seeing now on the Land Rover Defender. You can either choose from 5 different off-road modes or select auto and let the Land Cruiser do the rest. Note that some off-road modes are accessed through low or high range only. As for the usual driving modes, you're offered Eco, Normal and Sport, and paying extra for the VXR adds Comfort, Sport Plus and a personalized custom mode.
Alright, so taking a exterior walk around of the new Land Cruiser, In terms of dimensions, the car hasn't grown much compared to the previous generation. It's slightly longer and shorter in height, but overall it's basically the same size. You can see the new front fascia that we get on this car. We have a white one over there. As I've told you, I'm going to be showing you the difference in the grille, but they're basically the same trim level, the same design. We have the standard lights. They're not the full LEDs with the sequential lights that you get. And then coming on towards the side, you can see that the car is running on 20-inch rims. I really love the design that you get. They're very nicely polished as well, aluminum finish to them. If you take a look around the side, also we have this new design for the D pillar. The previous generation was going straight and it's much bigger window. We have a nice 70th anniversary emblem. 1951 was the first year they made the Land Cruiser. If we open up into the back seat, you can see it's still a brand new car. We have everything going on, but you have a decent amount of legroom over here in the back, and you have controls for the climate control stuff. And as I mentioned again, an overload of 70th anniversary emblems all around the car, but also very nicely leather wrapped. And you get an armrest over here, which I don't think we'll have to check out. Nice illuminated Land Cruiser emblem down at the bottom. And you also have big door bins over here. It does fit a big bottle of water and a small cubby space for the door handle. Let's just close that up. And again, LED taillights on this car. We have a twin turbo emblem down below on the left, and then the GXR emblem representing the trim level. You get, as standard on the new Land Cruiser, an automatic tailgate, which starts making this annoying beeping sound every time you want to open and close. But I mean, it's all right. You have a decent amount of cargo space in the back. As you can see, it's pretty huge. It's a 7-seater, obviously, as standard, so you can pull up the seats. Now, on the higher trim levels, you have automatic controls over here on the side. But on this base model, you just have to do it by hand. We have a 220-volt power outlet over here, which is really nice for charging and whatnot. And then over here towards the back, you can see, again, a nice charging port, USB-C obviously, for the back seat for the 7 seats, and then small cup holders as well as door bins over here, and that's the same on the left without the door bin actually. Then over here, if you open this up, you have some space for some tools, but I mean nothing too exciting. Let's just close that up again with the beeping sound that it keeps on making. And let's take a look at the rear end. Again, as I mentioned, thank you. Again, as I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of the rear design. I honestly prefer the previous generation, but I mean, it's probably grown on me. I like that you get a rear spoiler still, and they've completely removed the chrome accents on the back. They just replaced it with Land Cruiser and a huge Toyota emblem towards the back.
Whether you like the design or not, the new Land Cruiser definitely has more modern traits to keep it in line with its competitors. Toyota is following the latest trend by increasing the grille size for a much more imposing stance, alongside the U-shaped curve on the hood. 3 different looks are available, including a GR Sport variant with a unique front fascia and GR emblems around the car. You'll notice the rear taillights still sit below the beltline, but their somewhat slimmer and less angular design give the impression that the new model is less wide from the back, even though they're exactly the same width. The inside has shown much improvement as well, but I'm still unconvinced with Toyota's choice of not implementing more modern displays across all its models, and not just on the Land Cruiser. If you look over these minor details, you'll appreciate the fact that the Land Cruiser is the ideal family/off-road vehicle with a fairly easy and reliable user experience, which is why it has that big of a following. You've probably heard that these SUVs last decades and can cover hundreds of thousands of kilometers and almost never break down. This twin-turbo engine is relatively new, but is expected to take place in many Toyota and Lexus vehicles in the near future. The Land Cruiser is a serious off-roader and a long history that speaks for itself. The 2022 model year keeps it simple, with a relatively minor exterior update and conventional interior that works well rather than adding equipment that might break. So if you're looking for somewhat of an old-school family SUV, then the new Land Cruiser might as well tick all the boxes for you.